So man, I want to because we was talking about this off camera. You know what I'm saying? And so your first single coming out, is the dedication to your wife, your old lady. You know what I'm saying? Your significant other. And like I was just sharing with you how dope I thought how you move what your relationship is, but you were sharing with me how you knew that she was a keeper. And you talk, so like you didn't get to hear this story, but like you know what I'm saying. He was sharing, and I want you to chime in too, where because y'all two are the married. You talking about the car? You talking about where you parked it?
Yeah. I went to a party at back at the old Plush Club, and you remember the Plush Club? Yeah, and you remember the back of the Plush Club? It had like the little brick gate on the back where you could park in and go to the back. This is where they used to take the entertainers.
Yeah.
Okay, well this night I parked in the back. When I got there, it wasn't nobody there. I can't remember what was going on there. But me and the owner, Chris, was real cool. So
what year was this? Probably early, like the 2000s, right?
2007. Okay, okay. It was a long time ago.
Okay.
So me and my wife might have been dating for maybe like a year or two at the time because we started dating in 05. So I drive her car down there. I don't even know why I drove her car in the first place, but she had told me before I left, she was like, well, Kiki, I think her sister had to be at work at the time and she had to take her. So I was like, well, I'll be right back. I'm just finna go down here and holler at Chris or whatever. And I parked in the spot and people started parking behind me. So they had like on the side of the gates like a little opening about this big. Right. And I'm like, man, this girl gotta go to work. I gotta get her. I told her, rear view mirror off this girl brand new car. Snap. So I'm like, oh my God, this girl gonna kill me. She finna leave me. And when I pulled up, I'm like, I gotta show you something. I'm nervous. I'm like, Lord have mercy. She was like, I got insurance. All right. We went back in the house like nothing happened.
I got insurance.
And I'm like, wow.
Yeah, that's a moment.
How you knew.
Yeah, that's a moment. So you said new car.
So how did you know though? How did you know that was it? That you had a keeper?
For me, it was a little bit more simple because before I met my wife, I was my wife 8 years younger than me, FYI. So I dated a woman that was 5 years younger, a lady that was 10 years older, and some women that are my age, right? So it was like it didn't take long for them to give me the full court press, basically. You know what I'm saying? So what we doing? How are we gonna do this? When we, you know what I'm saying? When are we gonna settle down or do something? You know what I'm saying? To that degree, whether that was a year or whatever later. And so with my wife Rachel, it was at the time it was a breath of fresh air because it was like it was no rush. It was just, you know what I'm saying, letting things happen organically. That was can I say the first? I think it was probably the first relationship that I was completely honest up front. You know what I'm saying? Because when I first started dating her, I also was dating a couple other women at the same time too. But I let her know that. But you know what I'm saying? That I was, I had this other person. I got my boxes and stuff like that. And so it was just real from the jump. And so it was never any full court press or anything like that. And so once I was probably like a year and a half into it, I would say, and, everything was moving well and, getting to know each other and stuff like that. And, you know what I mean? And I, she didn't care how long it took for me to get there, but she expressed that she was there as long as, I wanted her to be. So that was me, you know what I mean? And it took me maybe 2.5 years before I proposed. And so, but every other relationship I was in before that, it was always kind of more of a pressure, kind of the full court press, kind of like, what are we doing? What are we going? Da, 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 da. And I didn't work good under those circumstances. So
I'm gonna tell you, with my wife, honestly, I got a unique situation with my wife. I've known my wife my whole life.
Like whole life,
like since Head Start. We went to Head Start together, and I have this like incredible memory, like of my childhood. Like my grandfather died when I was 6, And when I tell my aunties and my dad and them the stuff that I remember,
They don't think you remember it.
they like, how you remember that?
Yep.
Like, I remember my granddaddy vividly as if like he lived till I was 12 or 13.
Yep.
So I always remembered her when we was in Head Start as the little girl that I used to try to show out for. She didn't remember all this, but her uncle is married. I mean, her uncle is married to my dad's sister. So we known each other our whole life. You know, grew up in the same church kind of together, right? So I always knew, like, even when we got older, that she was the wife type, and she was the type of woman that I wanted. But of course, we were, I was wild out in the streets doing my thing, and then she was dating a guy that she dated for years, 7, 8 years or whatever, and I was, and so it's really kind of, it was one of these things where, like, you see this girl and you like, man, I wish I could be with her. Like, this the type of woman I want that kind of woman. But I ain't pressing because it's like I've known her my whole life and I don't even know how to approach her. So one night in 2005, she's having a birthday party. So she tells her cousins, like I said, we all kind of grew up in the same church. She tells her cousin to call my cousin, which is her uncle's kids. Tell them to come to the birthday. I want them to come to my birthday. I want invite them to my birthday party.
Right.
So we go to her birthday party, and then that night we went out on Beale Street, and that was the night I got up the courage to be like, man, I've been liking you since we were kids. Like, I want to see, like, huh? So all her cousins like, girl, you knew that boy been like, cause they all knew. She like, no, y'all ain't never told him, like, huh? Nobody ain't never said, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, huh? Cause I always used to talk to them about it, and so that night I gave her my number, and I don't remember how long it was before she called me, but this gonna blow y'all mind. You gonna think I'm making this stuff up, dog.
Keep it presidential.